So, I know I talked about this earlier, and I think I've talked about it before as well, but it just seems so appropriate to mention, if you will. Because despite the fact that AEW did what no one thought they could do outside of what they did, with the event that basically laid the foundation for the company, despite the fact that they did what no one said they could do with Wembley, they went out and they did it. But now, just like a year prior, they're in a situation to where backstage, the future is bleak. I mean, get this. Collision is supposed to be CM Punk's show, right? But how is it CM Punk's show if CM Punk's not going to be on there due to the fact that he's suspended? And in his place, maybe at the recommendation of David Zaslav and the WBD, we get Dennis Rodman. I'm telling you, this is not good, for AEW. But there's a reason why they're doing it, though. The same reason that anybody competing on the same night as WWE would do it. Attention. You see, tomorrow night is Payback. Tomorrow night is Payback. Not the best B-level in-your-house event for WWE, but still, it's got some matches that could and segments that could potentially deliver. However, AEW has always accepted the fact that WWE could beat them. They've accepted that when it comes to going head-to-head with them, when it comes to regular television show against a pay-per-view. They've come to accept that. Whether they're admitted or not, I think it's obvious that they've come to accept that. And I'm not saying that being a WWE fan, I'm just saying that as a realist. However, this does bring up a good question, like I said, that I think I've asked before, and others have asked before. And that is, a year ago, Triple H took over when Vince McMahon had to step away, retire, if you will, because of what was being put against him. He had to step away. And when he stepped away, Triple H stepped in. And Triple H basically gave us what we wanted. Gave us a product that blew everything that Vince had done previously out of the water, and even blew what AEW was doing out of the water. But then Vince comes back and AEW gets back on top. It's almost like Tony Khan feels more at ease putting on a product that he knows will get people talking, Punk or no Punk, Jack Perry or no Jack Perry, elite or no elite. He is more comfortable putting on a product that he knows will get people's attention, get them talking, getting them favoring AEW over WWE, more so than anything. It seems he's more comfortable when Vince McMahon's, booking the show, or Vince McMahon is throwing his creative influence around and making sure whatever he wants to see gets in there. But when it comes to Triple H, it's almost like Tony Khan, and I'm not trying to say this, again, as a WWE fan, I'm saying this as a realist. It seems that Tony Khan is a little nervous. It's like he's a little shaken up. It's like he has no clue as to exactly what to do. Now you might say, well, he was able to do Wembley, yeah, but the tickets were already sold without one match being announced until recently. And even though the card wasn't exactly what people felt could have been a great card for All in London, which hopefully they make up for next year, it still delivered. It still delivered, and it got people talking for a time until the CM Punk Jack Perry situation. But then you have All Out. You have All Out. And Tony Khan has never faced a situation to where he's had to book for back-to-back pay-per-views. Triple H has. Triple H has. Booked in a way for back-to-back pay-per-views. He has. He is booked pretty much almost back-to-back. He's helped, he's booked his NXT takeovers, and he's booked legit WWE pay-per-views back-to-back. Heck, he's had to book sometimes a Sunday pay-per-view back-to-back with Monday Night Raw. So he knows how to do it. He's been there. Tony Khan isn't, or hasn't. And even though Tony Khan may have had some original ideas lined up for All Out, despite the injury bug hitting AEW in a big way, as well as the, CM Punk basically going off and being Mr. Pipe Bomb again, depending on what you believe, Tony Khan seems a little nervous. You would think he would be able to figure out, okay, what can I do to be an alternative, for All Out? What can I do to deliver? Now, he's got Kenny Omega and Kaneshka, and he's got Kenny Omega and Takeshita. Like I said, he's got Omega versus Takeshita. He has Moxley against Cassidy. So he's got a decent card. Heck, he's got an 8-man tag, FTR and Young Bucks against Bullet Club Gold. So he's got some decent matchups in there, but then again, he's got matchups people are thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? This feels like more of a ROH pay-per-view than an AEW pay-per-view. It's a 50-50 pay-per-view between the two. And yeah, it does. It does feel like that, but again, this is just, to me, an example of Tony Khan not knowing how to book back-to-back pay-per-views properly or having a plan in place when Triple H is running things. Because, again, I've noticed that when Triple H is not running things or doesn't have as much creative say like people feel he should, and Vince, through either Bruce Pritchard or Kevin Dunn or even right there himself, tells Hunter, hey, I want this, I want that, it seems Tony Khan's more comfortable because, Vince isn't, up to speed like Hunter is. He's more out of touch. So, to me, when I look at All Out, I don't listen, I look at the card, I compare it to Payback. I think people would pretty much say Payback's a better card, despite, it being, having, a shorter length, shorter amount of matches. People would agree it's a better booked card. And all Tony Khan is doing is throwing you-know-what against the wall to see what sticks for All Out. Because, one, he still has to make a decision whether or not Punk is going to be at All Out. Or, hold on for a second. I almost lost my train of thought there, guys. It's been a long day at work today, of course. But he has to make a decision of whether or not Punk is going to be at All Out, and he plans to make that at the last minute? He plans to make that at the last minute? That's not good. That's not good. So to me, this is just a bad booking on his part because again, he's not used to this. He's not used to this. And everybody has said that it would have been better if he would have waited a month. But then he decides to do Wrestle Dream at the beginning of October. To me, again, you could see the nervousness that Tony Khan has when it comes to Triple H running things on the WWE side of the pond compared to Vince McMahon. Because when it comes to Vince, he's more comfortable. When it comes to Hunter, it's like, oh, great. Hunter's to me, I think TK, when he hears Triple H is running things, he's booking things, his nerves get shot. They're like, oh, man, what is this guy going to plan next? Okay, he did that. How do I counter that? How do I counter that? He loses it. He loses it. And then on top of that, you have the situation with Punk and Perry, and it's like, it's not good. And honestly, he should have had the All-In card planned out, around the same time he was having All-In planned out. Like, they should have had meetings like, okay, here's our matches for All-In, now let's focus on the matches for All Out. It doesn't feel like, the AEW that was promised. And I think that's why fans get on Tony. They do. But again, I'll be honest with you. I think it's not just because his inexperience. It's not just because he's pretty much handed over keys to the keys of the AEW kingdom over to WBD. No, I think it's also the fact that he's nervous. He's nervous because Triple H is booking over on the WWE side of things, and he's booking a better product, and he sees it. And all he could do is try his best to counter that. And maybe he will. We don't know. Maybe he will. But we'll have to see. I mean, some people are praising the idea that WBD might be convincing him to do the 12-month pay-per-view model. And that might be great because literally you can have a month from one pay-per-view to another to plan out for it. The storylines and all that. But then again, you could have people, and I'm guaranteeing you, people have already been doing it. You're going to have people not happy about this. You're going to have people being like, wait a minute, you're becoming more WWE-like than you are alternative. Because if you're the alternative, you shouldn't be having back-to-back pay-per-views 12 months in a row. People will look at that and they'll say, like, you're not being that alternative anymore. You're becoming WWE light, or you're becoming WCW light. They won't like that. They won't like that. Some would like it because they could see the potential that, AEW could have because they've never been in that situation. While others will look at it like, that's not a good thing. Because here's the thing, unless AEW has a streaming service under the belt, or they have, a catalog, a category, a division on the Max streaming service for the product, nowadays people are not going to want to pay $49.99 or $59.99, depending on which format of the pay-per-view you buy, to watch a pay-per-view from AEW back, month after 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 month, back to back to back to back to back to back for 12 months in a row. They're not going to want that. So to me, Tony Khan right now is in a situation to where he's letting his nerves get the best of him. He's letting his nervousness, because Triple H is booking the WWE product right now, just like he did a year ago, basically cause him to mentally not be able to decide what is best for the company and not best for his, WBD partners and everything. It's making his nerves be so racketed, he's having a hard time making a decision right here and now about the CM Punk Jack Perry situation and deciding he wants to wait till the last minute. So to me, again, I know it's strange to talk about it this way or even say it this way or compare the situations, but to me, I think Tony Khan feels more comfortable when when he knows and hears Vince having massive say on what goes on the WWE creative side of things, even if he's not truly involved, over Triple H being fully involved, if you know what I mean. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video, and until next time, guys, I will talk to y'all later.